Before we dive into today's topic, I want to tell you about something that's changed how I approach pigeon health and performance. I run another channel called Pigeon Healthy where I share natural herbal treatment methods that most fanciers have never heard of. We're talking about plants and natural remedies that have powerful healing and performance-enhancing effects on pigeons. Things like specific herb combinations that boost immunity, natural treatments for respiratory diseases, plants that improve digestion and recovery after races, and natural alternatives to chemical medications. We cover pigeon diseases you might be struggling with right now: canker, respiratory infections, coccidiosis, worms, and show you exactly how to treat them using natural methods that actually work. No guessing. No expensive medications with side effects. Just proven herbal protocols used by top European lofts. If you're serious about keeping your birds healthy naturally and improving their performance without chemicals, go subscribe to Pigeon Healthy right now. The knowledge there could save you birds, save you money, and give you an edge your competition doesn't have. Now let's get into today's topic. 2 years ago I visited Belgium to study with championship fanciers. One afternoon I was at the loft of an 84-year-old master, Marcel. He's won national races in 7 different decades. I brought one of my best young birds to show him. I was proud of this bird. Perfect pedigree. Son of a national winner. The bird had trained beautifully. Fast returns. Good trap discipline. I handed the bird to Marcel expecting him to be impressed. He placed the bird on a perch. Stepped back. Watched it for maybe 20 seconds. Then he looked at me and said, "This bird will never win important races." I was shocked and honestly offended. He barely looked at it. He didn't watch it fly. He didn't check the pedigree. How could he possibly know it won't win? Marcel explained. He said, "I don't need to watch birds fly to know if they're champions. I can tell in 30 seconds by how they perch. This bird perches like a loser. Weak grip. Poor posture. Unfocused eyes. These traits don't change. A bird that perches weak will always race weak regardless of genetics or training." I argued. "This bird has champion bloodlines. It's trained perfectly. It flies strong." Marcel smiled and said, "Race it if you want. You'll see I'm right. Give it 2 years. If this bird ever wins a major race, I'll admit I was wrong. But it won't." I raced that bird for 3 years. It never won anything. Never placed top 20 in any significant race. Mediocre results despite perfect genetics and training. Meanwhile, birds I'd considered average, birds with less impressive pedigrees, were winning races consistently. I couldn't understand it. Eventually I went back to Belgium and asked Marcel to teach me the perch test. "What are you seeing that I'm missing?" He spent an afternoon teaching me how to observe birds on perches. What physical and behavioral signs separate champions from mediocre birds. The test takes 30 seconds. It's more accurate than pedigree, more accurate than training performance, more accurate than any other pre-race evaluation method. Today I'm teaching you the exact perch test protocol Marcel taught me, the science explaining why it works, and how to use it to identify your champions before wasting time and money training losers. Let me start with the fundamental principle. How a bird perches reflects how it will fly. Perching and flying use the same muscular and neurological systems. Grip strength in the feet correlates with wing muscle strength. Balance on a perch correlates with flight control ability. Posture on a perch reflects cardiovascular fitness and body structure. Mental focus while perching reflects mental toughness during racing. A bird that perches strong, balanced, focused, and tense is a bird that flies strong, controlled, and competitive. A bird that perches weak, unbalanced, lazy, and distracted flies the same way. The perch behavior is a window into the bird's overall physiological and psychological state. This makes evolutionary sense. Wild pigeons spend significant time perched on branches, ledges, buildings. Perching ability is survival critical. Birds with weak grip fall from perches and get injured or killed. Birds with poor balance are vulnerable to predators while perched. Natural selection favored strong perching ability. Domestic racing pigeons retain these traits. The best flyers are also the best perchers because both abilities stem from the same underlying strength, balance, and coordination. You can't have strong flight with weak perching. The systems are integrated. Now let me teach you the 30-second perch test step by step. The test has 3 components evaluated sequentially: natural observation, grip test, and balance test. Each component takes approximately 10 seconds. Total test time 30 seconds per bird. You can evaluate entire team in minutes. The test requires only a perch, natural or artificial, and your observation skills. No equipment. No special setup. Just a perch and attention to detail. Step 1 is natural observation. This takes the first 10 seconds. Place the bird on the perch. Use perch that's approximately 2 to 3 centimeters in diameter. Natural branch is best, but wooden dowel works. The perch should be stable, not swinging or moving. Place the bird on the perch gently. Don't force it into position. Just set it on the perch and release. Now step back 1 or 2 meters. Don't touch the bird. Don't talk to it. Just observe silently for 10 seconds. Watch how the bird naturally positions itself. What you're looking for. First grip. Does the bird immediately grip the perch tightly with both feet? Champion bird wraps toes completely around perch and squeezes. You can see tension in the feet. The toes are flexed and locked. Mediocre bird places feet on perch loosely. Toes might not fully wrap around. Grip is casual, not intense. This difference in grip intensity correlates directly with muscle strength. Strong grip means strong muscles throughout body, including wings. Weak grip means weak muscles. Second, posture. Does the bird sit upright with chest lifted and head high? Champion bird perches tall. Body is vertical or slightly forward-leaning. Chest is out. Head is elevated. The posture projects confidence and readiness. Mediocre bird slouches. Body is compressed. Chest is sunken. Head is low. The bird looks like it's resting or tired even when it's fresh. This postural difference reflects both structural factors. Birds with better bone and muscle alignment naturally sit taller, and cardiovascular fitness. Birds with strong hearts and lungs maintain upright posture easily. Weak birds slouch because holding upright position requires sustained muscle tension they can't maintain. Third, weight distribution. Where is the bird's weight relative to the perch? Champion bird perches with weight slightly forward. The bird is balanced over its feet or even slightly ahead of them. This forward weight distribution creates a coiled, ready-to-launch position. The bird is perpetually ready to take off. Mediocre bird perches with weight back. The bird leans backward, sitting on its tail and vent rather than being balanced over its feet. This backward weight distribution is lazy resting position. The bird would need to shift weight forward before launching. This indicates lack of readiness and drive. Fourth, eye focus. Where are the bird's eyes looking? Champion bird's eyes are locked forward or on you. Direct, focused gaze. The bird is aware and attentive. It's processing its environment. Mediocre bird's eyes wander, looking around randomly. Unfocused. The bird seems distracted or confused. Eye focus reflects mental state. Focused eyes mean focused mind. Wandering eyes mean scattered, unorganized thinking. Racing requires sustained mental focus for navigation and competition. Birds with unfocused eyes lack mental toughness for championship racing. Fifth, body tension. Does the bird's body have visible tension or is it relaxed? Champion bird has subtle tension throughout body. Not scared stiff but coiled. Muscles are engaged even while sitting still. The bird looks ready to explode into action. Mediocre bird is completely relaxed. Muscles are soft. Body is loose. The bird looks like it's lounging, not ready for action. Body tension reflects competitive drive and nervous system activation. Tense birds are wired for performance. Relaxed birds lack competitive fire. After 10 seconds of natural observation, you should have clear impression. Does this bird look like a champion perchier or a mediocre perchier? The differences are usually obvious once you know what to look for. But don't make final judgment yet. Move to step 2. Step 2 is grip test. This takes the second 10 seconds. Now you interact with the bird. Gently place your hand near the bird's feet. Slowly and calmly try to slide your finger under the bird's toes. Try to lift the bird's toes off the perch. Don't yank or force. Just gentle, steady pressure upward on the underside of the toes. What you're testing is how much the bird resists. How hard does it grip to prevent you from removing its feet from the perch? Champion bird resists strongly. You literally cannot lift its toes off the perch without significant force. The toes are locked like a vice. If you persist, the bird might shift weight or reposition, but the toes won't release. You'd have to use enough force to risk injuring the bird before the toes would let go. This is champion level grip strength. The same strength that allows powerful wing strokes during flight. Mediocre bird's toes release easily. Light pressure and the toes lift off the perch. The bird doesn't resist or resists minimally. The grip is weak. This weak grip indicates overall muscle weakness. Birds with weak foot muscles also have weak wing muscles. They can fly, but they can't fly powerfully or sustainably. They'll always be mediocre racers, limited by fundamental strength deficiency. There's middle ground. Average birds resist moderately. Grip is noticeably present but can be overcome with firm pressure. These birds aren't champion grip, but they're not totally weak either. They're average, which means they can be competent racers but unlikely to win against true champions in tough competition. After testing grip, you have second data point: champion grip or mediocre grip. Combined with the natural observation, patterns are emerging. If bird looked like champion during observation and shows champion grip, confidence increases. If bird looked mediocre and shows weak grip, that confirms mediocrity. If observations conflict, good posture but weak grip or vice versa, the bird is mixed and results will be unpredictable. Step 3 is balance test. This takes the final 10 seconds. Now test the bird's balance and coordination. Gently grasp the perch with your hand on each side of the bird's feet. Rock the perch slowly side to side. Maybe 30 degrees arc each direction. Gentle rhythmic rocking. Not violent shaking. Just enough movement to challenge the bird's balance. Watch how the bird responds. Champion bird adjusts instantly and maintains position. As perch rocks left, bird leans slightly right to compensate. As perch rocks right, bird leans left. The adjustments are smooth and automatic. Bird never loses balance. Never needs to open wings for stability. Never looks panicked. The bird almost seems to enjoy the challenge. Body tension increases. Focus sharpens. The bird actively engages with the instability rather than being victimized by it. This superior balance reflects multiple underlying systems. Proprioception, the bird's sense of body position in space. Vestibular function, the inner ear balance system. Muscular coordination, ability to make rapid, precise adjustments. Neurological processing speed, how quickly brain detects imbalance and commands correction. All of these systems are essential for flight control. Flying requires constant balance adjustments to air currents, turns, altitude changes. Bird that maintains perfect balance on a rocking perch will maintain perfect balance in turbulent air during racing. Mediocre bird struggles with balance test. As perch rocks, bird wobbles. Opens wings partially for stability. Might nearly fall off. Looks stressed or scared. Adjustments are slow and clumsy. The bird is fighting the movement rather than flowing with it. This poor balance indicates deficiencies in the same systems champion bird excels at. Weak proprioception. Poor vestibular function. Slow coordination. These deficiencies will manifest in flight as poor control, wasted energy on unnecessary corrections, and vulnerability to difficult conditions. Again, there's middle ground. Average birds maintain balance but with visible effort. They don't fall but they don't look comfortable either. They're managing but not mastering the challenge. These are average balance birds that will be average control flyers. After completing all 3 components of the 30-second test, you combine the observations. Bird that scores champion on all 3, natural observation, grip, and balance, is almost certainly a championship potential bird. Bird that scores mediocre on 2 or 3 components is almost certainly limited. Birds with mixed results are unpredictable and need additional evaluation. Let me give you my personal data from 2 years of using this test. I've perch tested approximately 150 birds total. 50 of them were young birds I raised and trained. 100 were birds I evaluated at other lofts or before purchasing. Of the 50 young birds I raised and tested, 12 scored champion on all 3 perch test components. These 12 were marked as my top-tier breeding and racing prospects. The other 38 scored mediocre or mixed. I trained all 50 birds identically to avoid bias. Progressive distance training. Same management. Same feeding. Fair test. After 2 full racing seasons, the results were dramatic. Of the 12 champion perch birds, 9 placed top 10 in multiple races. 3 of them won races. None of them failed to perform. 9 out of 12 is 75% success rate. Of the 38 mediocre or mixed perch birds, only 3 placed top 10 in any races. None won. 3 out of 38 is 8% success rate. The perch test predicted performance with 83% accuracy combining both groups. This is far better than pedigree alone, which was maybe 50-50 in my experience. It's better than training performance, which was maybe 60-40. The perch test is the single most predictive evaluation I've found. The 100 birds I evaluated at other lofts gave me comparison data. I'd perch test birds, then asked the owners how those birds had performed in racing. The correlation held. Birds I scored as champion perchers were usually proven racers or became proven racers if they were young. Birds I scored as mediocre were usually poor racers or became poor racers. There were exceptions. Occasional champion perch bird that didn't race well due to health problems or very poor training. Occasional mediocre perch bird that placed well in very small competition or perfect conditions. But the general pattern was consistent. Perch test predicts race results. Now let me explain why American fanciers don't use perch testing while European masters do. American pigeon culture emphasizes giving every bird a chance. Train them all. Let races decide who's best. This seems fair and democratic. But it's inefficient. Training is expensive. Time, effort, gasoline for tosses, feed for growing birds, loft space. If you train 50 birds and 40 of them are mediocre, you wasted 80% of your training resources on birds that won't succeed. European approach is ruthlessly selective. Evaluate early. Cull hard. Train only the birds that show champion potential. This seems harsh, but it's efficient. If perch test identifies 12 champions out of 50 birds, train those 12 intensively. Cull or sell the other 38. Now 100% of training resources go to birds with actual potential. Results are better. Costs are lower. Time is saved. Belgian masters perch test young birds at 3 to 4 months old. Before any distance training. Before significant investment. 30 seconds per bird. 50 birds tested in 25 minutes. The 12 that pass get trained. The 38 that fail get culled, sold, or if genetics are exceptional they're kept for breeding only without wasting training effort. This early selection is why Belgian lofts produce such consistent champions. They're not training mediocre birds hoping they'll become champions. They're identifying champions early and focusing all resources on proven potential. American fanciers often resist this approach. It feels wrong to cull based on 30-second test. What if you're wrong? What if that bird you culled would have been a champion? The answer is maybe occasionally you're wrong. But mostly you're right. And the efficiency gains from being right 83% of the time far outweigh the occasional mistake. Would you rather train 50 birds and get 3 winners or train 12 birds and get 9 winners? Same 9 winners either way. But the 12-bird approach used 80% less resources and saved enormous time. The math favors selection. Now let me teach you how to use perch test at different stages and for different purposes. First use is young bird selection at 3 to 4 months. Test all young birds. Separate champions from mediocre. Focus training on champions. Cull or sell mediocre unless genetics justify keeping for breeding. This prevents wasted training on birds that won't succeed. Second use is pre-purchase evaluation. Before buying bird, ask to perch test it. Sellers who understand the test will respect the request. Sellers who don't understand might think you're strange but let you do it anyway. 30 seconds of testing could save you from buying a €500 bird that perches like a €2 bird. Worth looking strange to avoid bad purchase. Third use is breeding stock selection. Perch test all potential breeders. Use champion perch birds as primary breeders even if their race results were only moderate. The perch test reveals underlying genetic strength. Bird with champion perch but moderate race results probably had training or management problems preventing full potential. But genetics are there. Offspring will inherit champion perch traits. Breed from them. Conversely, bird with mediocre perch that got lucky and won a race shouldn't be bred from. The win was luck. Genetics are mediocre. Offspring will perch mediocre and race mediocre. Fourth use is race team selection. Evening before basketing for race, perch test your team. Birds that are sharp and tense during perch test are ready. Birds that are lazy and relaxed might be overtrained or undermotivated. Consider leaving those birds home. The perch test shows race day readiness better than visual observation of birds flying in the loft. If this video showed you a 30-second test that predicts race results better than months of training observation, hit the like button. Subscribe for selection methods that save time and money while improving results. Comment perch test if you're testing your entire team this week. And visit Pigeon Healthy for muscle and nerve health protocols because champion perch requires strong muscles and sharp nerves. Natural supplements support both. Build strength, sharpen nerves, produce birds that perch like champions and race like champions. That's the complete package. See you in next video.